Gwen Stefani said, "What you waiting for?" Unfortunately, we don't have the tunes anymore, Phil, but we do have this amazing setup. And we've got the same question for business owners. What are you waiting for? It seems like a lot of them at the moment are waiting.
They sure are. And it's been a really common theme in conversations with business owners over the last few weeks, maybe even months, as a bit of a theme of going, well, we've got all of these ideas. We want to do this, we want to do that, but insert excuse here. And it's just like, oh, well, we're waiting for blah, blah, blah to play out. Or we're just going through a new website launch. We've got to wait for that to be done before we do something else. Or, oh, we're just waiting for, we've got these 5 things. We've got 3 of them done. We've got 2 more that just need to be finished off. And once we've got all 5 together, we can then send our first email. Like, I reckon it's just a weak excuse, waiting. Because I think by waiting, you're hunting for perfection and delaying results. And all you're looking for is a little bit of confidence that you're on the right course. So that planning session that we did recently with a client, they had a stack load of ideas in their head. And I think they were just waiting to be able to talk to somebody to go as a sounding board, challenge me on my thinking, and am I on the right track? And then go, right, just pull the trigger and get going, and you're going to get some feedback.
Yeah, I think part of our frustration with the waiting is that we have a lot of clients who take action and they don't go down the perfect or perfectionism route. And we always see action takers winning. And sometimes they're not the flashiest clients. They just they just have their head down and they're like, oh, I just did this and then I did this, and we're like, well done, And they're like, what do you mean? It's nothing special. And we're like, no, it is. You've done it. You do stuff. And then we have clients where you think, oh, you've got all this opportunity and they can't see it. And then we think, okay, let's unlock the opportunity, but they need to wait. And that's probably why they haven't unlocked the opportunity, because they are waiting themselves. And, please take this with the kindest lens when you listen to this, because we don't want to bash you as like, why aren't you taking action? But you do want to ask yourself that, like, why? Why are you not? What's stopping you? And the word that I've heard 3 different business owners use over the last 14 days where we've done some form of planning is nervous.
Wow.
And they'll say, I'm just nervous. And every time I hear it, I write it down, because I think I need to come back to that, because it's something that we say. And I think my yellow brain picks it up of like, oh, that's an emotion. That's like, we can dig into that and figure out. And then, what we normally do is like, where's the data to suggest that that's actually real? So business owners at the moment seem to be saying, oh, I'm just nervous that. So when we're talking about, well, why don't you do this? Or even if you know you need to do this, there's a hesitation. And often they use the word, oh, I'm nervous that. And it, a good example is, oh, I'm nervous that I get the wrong person. And it's like these decisions we're making can't be taken back. And I'm nervous that people are then going to look at us this way. I'm nervous that I'm going to then chew into the margin. And each time we take people through that journey and then work back of, okay, but what if we don't? Or what if we do, but then we just fix it? Or, okay, you're nervous that, and then insert whatever it is for yourself. Okay, but what about if you then adapt, once you do have it? What would you do? If that did happen, how would you act? And I think if you take yourself through the situation that you're nervous about, you'll find that your brain already has the answer of what you're going to need to do to solve it anyway.
I think as well as that, a lot of people overstate the downside before making a decision that they're probably nervous about. And then the other question that we chuck in there, particularly a business owner that's been around for a little bit and has got a track record and a foundation to leverage off of, is going, well, of all the times that you've been in business before, has something like this happened before? Or when you've gone off and made a decision about, like, what was the last big decision you had to go and make? They'd tell the story, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then after making that decision, did something happen? More often than not, no. Or if something did happen, will we find the answers?
Yeah.
And it's almost like a light bulb moment for the business owner going, yeah, I am the problem here. I am the roadblock. I'm going into a little bitch mode. I've just got to flick the switch and make the decision and get on with it.
two of the areas where we see people waiting, one I reckon is staff at the moment, like people not hiring, but they're in the position, they've been in the position for ages, they just can't quite get themselves to do it. And I think it's just a noise of the outside and a nervousness and a worry that what if revenue stops. And had this conversation today where we spoke about this recently, but everybody with an employee goes, oh, they're XYZ per year. And so they annualize the cost. Well, no, if they're not the right employee and it's not working, you don't continue to hire them. You know, but I think because I said to a business owner recently, I said, why is it a year? Why don't you calculate it over 2 years? Do you only expect them to be with you for a year? So it's weird that our brain says, oh, that's an annual cost of this. But really, there might be a 90-day cost. There might be a 4 months. There might be a 5. So don't be scared by the annual cost of something, because if it's not right, you're not signing up to 12 months of it. You're potentially signing up for 90 days or 6 months or even 2 years, 3 years. And that, I think, it holds a lot of people back, because instead of going, okay, what's the cost per month? It's straight into that annual. And then like, what if it's the wrong person? Well, you're going to then need to spend some money with somebody to figure out, okay, how do I get through this situation? There's plenty of HR experts out there, and you won't be the only one.
A fascinating discussion that I've had recently with someone was they have an existing opportunity in their business to significantly improve gross profit, which is a metric we love to talk about for hours. Previous listeners to the pod will be well aware of. And to the tune of potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And when I heard this, I was on the edge of my seat, and it just grabbed my attention immediately. And I was just like, well, how are we going to unlock this? Oh, well, we've got to buy this new piece of equipment. I was like, okay, and what do you need to know? And they're like, oh, well, we're waiting for, and it was just insert this massive list. And I'm like, you mean to tell, so, and for context, buying this piece of equipment, 1, isn't terribly expensive, 2, can be financed, and 3, cash flow isn't a problem in this business. And they were looking at it, and it was just like, oh, we're waiting for X, we're waiting for Y. And it was just all of these low frequency problems that are taking up bandwidth in the lid for them to say that they don't have the capacity to be able to give this, what they see as a project, attention. And I was just like, so you mean to say we're waiting for all of these shit problems to be solved before we're going to unlock hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, that's a really fucked up way to look at like running your business. It's just like, what do you need to know now to give you some clarity to push the go button? And part of it was just, when we unpacked it, like mindset and confidence as to the future of the business, and like, oh, we're not going to get to the edge and one day just tip over. And it's another great reminder that if business owners just did a little bit of planning around taking some deliberate action that's going to impact the future of like, right, we want to be able to do this, and this in our business. And to be able to do this, we need to take these different actions. And I'm going to do up a quick little cash flow forecast to be able to go, okay, this is my money in, these are my extra costs. This is how I expect my bank balance to go. All right, I'm going to go off and get this bit of equipment. I'm going to put it on a loan, pay it off over 5 years. The increased GP will come through probably in month 2 or month 3 once it's all worked out. How does that map out? Boom, you're starting to get some clarity. Near enough's good enough. We're starting to deal with some numbers and a plan that's going to get us 80% of the way there. The last 20%, we just fake it till we make it and adjust as we go. It's either going to work or not going to work, and we change the numbers. But at a high level, the one thing that never fails to amaze me as a business owner's intuition. When they sit there and go, yep, we've had a look at this and we know that there's these improvements to the business. Like, you listen to them, believe them. Yes, you challenge them on their thinking, but their intuition's going to be right. They just need the confidence to be to have the clarity to be able to go, yes, push the go button. So it's like, don't wait. And I was just absolutely flabbergasted that is waiting for this element of perfection or this yuck stuff to get out of the way to then make the decision.
Yeah, I think business owners often forget how good they are at dealing with multiple projects, juggling balls and chaos. I had a similar thing, but completely different. I'd love to get your take on this because you have lived experience of this, whereas I do not. So potentially doing some planning with a potential client, and they may well be listening. So if this is their situation, but like I didn't even try and sell them on it, but I just thought, what is this? But anyway, I'll take you through it. So they want to, look at improving their business and understanding things better. We haven't really learned about this stuff before and increasing profitability. Give you that as a framework, right? And they've got validation from a friend. You need to do this with Next Advisory. It's life-changing. You make it back. I didn't even need to sell them. Their friend had already done it on me. Like, here's how it works. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, okay, so we're finding a time. And then this person said, we'll do it, probably back end of this year or next year. I'm thinking, it's August now. Like, what do you mean? And I've got my third child who is arriving in, let's say, a couple of months or something.
Yeah.
And sales, Luke, knows that I need to be like, okay, so you're telling me that you're going to wait to have this child to then work on the business, etc. But I was like, okay, mate, like that's fine. There's plenty of people that want to do this with us. I'm not going to push. But when you had your third child, did your life get more hectic or did it get cruisier?
Mate, I've got to pause and just think about this.
This is not a trick question.
No, I get it. But you know me, the answer could go one or two ways.
You could get in trouble.
And this could get back to Grace, or it could ignite some comments on the YouTube media and the socials. And I'm trying to balance here, kind of like what's more important, because I know engagement is important for our profile.
Well, shall I put it this way?
But to answer your question, in my lived experience, and I'm speaking for myself, so just calm down out there, all three of them were easy because I had the stay-at-home wife. So I just carry on, went to work. But I say that in a little bit of jest. The first one is always just, whoa, you're getting spanked around with a lot of lessons. Then by the time you get to number two, it's just like, well, what were we worried about with number one so much? It's actually not that bad. And then by the time number three comes along, they've just got to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And the resilience that I think a natural number three has is probably more than a 1 and 2. I don't know. I'm not a parenting specialist by any stretch. I've not written books, do not intend to.
Well, you've got more kids.
Have not won Father of the Year and don't intend to. But like number three, I think as a parent, you're probably at the beginning, you overstate, like what we said before, you overstate the downside. And then by the time number three comes along, you're just like, well, there's no downside. This shit's a walk in the park. They just bloody strap on in and away we go. So long as you don't get to number four, because then that's minivan, bigger house, and other problems that I've never encountered, do not want to encounter.
Yeah, you call the fourth one Previa, isn't it? Because you've got to get a Toyota Previa. Is that what they called? Or a is that what they called?
From what I've heard, a loser cruiser.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. Very brutal. I just imagine it. The keyboards are on fire right now. But anyway.
Because I kind of thought, well, surely your life isn't all of a sudden going to get easier and less chaotic with number three, that you go, oh, right, I might sit down. It's the perfect time to do some business planning now. Like going back to what you're saying about intuition, what I often find with business owners is if something's telling them that they probably need to do something, you probably do.
Yeah.
Whether it's the planning, hiring, firing, getting admin support, doing some marketing. And if you're running it past someone that's external and getting to look at your situation that has a shit ton of experience dealing with business owners, they can probably speed up the decision making of which is the avenue to go down.
And that's the missing piece of the puzzle. And that was the client that we sat down with earlier this week, where they just had all of these ideas. And it's just the intuition. It's so much of the stuff. And they even said to us, oh, yeah, we had all these ideas. It's like, yeah. But you're just needing the independent, objective sounding board to be able to challenge your thinking and go, that's actually not a dumb idea. Like, what are you waiting for? Just go.
Yeah.
The other one that we spoke with recently was, and I don't know whether they are a podcast listener. I think they are. But the analogy was great, and I think you might have mentioned it, was businesses like building a car. And you're in a race. And we're either waiting in the pits to build the Ferrari and put all of the pieces together, then get out on the track and actually realize we're in a rally, so we've built the wrong car. Or we put the car together on the track and we're getting the feedback as we go. We go, oh shit, it's raining. We now got to put the wets on while we're going. It's Formula One, so we don't need to worry about the doors rather than the old V8s.
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And you kind of see the business owner sit back and kind of the penny drops almost. It's just like, yeah, I've actually got to take some action and put myself out there rather than waiting for something that I think is perfect, that the world would have no idea whether it's perfect or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think business owners do this a lot with, I've got to get my website right. And it's like, great, your website's done, now what? Oh, you still need to give it to people. And we've been through this. Remember we were putting together information around, buying a business, for instance, and then we basically said the same thing. We were like, still going to need to run an ad to get people to this.
Yep.
And then we refine the ads better to the point where we don't need to send people to the landing page and go, right, like here's the ad with all of the things that we've learnt because we're building the car as we go, and then go, right, book in here. And now every week you have people getting in touch going, I'm ready now. So we thought it was, okay, build this car, this should work.
Yep.
And then, but we were open to maybe it doesn't. And then, okay, we're going to test it. We'll test this as well. Oh, actually, we need to refine this car. And now get that going even faster, and then, okay, flood some more things around it, and and it works really well.
I was about to say, with the buying the business content and booking in, that we built a Ferrari, and I had to pause. No, we haven't. It's a McLaren.
I was going to say Skoda. Love a Skoda.
You do? Jeez.
Yeah, what's right? And curbing rims on any car.
Brakes work well too, if I recall.
We'll leave that there.
Yep.
We shall leave that there. But yeah, I think that intuition bit that could be the biggest takeaway for somebody watching this. If your gut is telling you probably need to do something, business owners have an incredible intuition to know that, I need to be careful of this, that is the right thing to do. But maybe just checking with somebody that's already down the path, because there are somebody that will take that literally, then their gut intuition sucks.
I think the bit that I would there is validate the intuition.
Yes.
And the validation needs to come from not anyone that's family or friends. Go to somebody that's independent, that you trust their opinion. Like, they are either in the same industry or have run a business, they've got battle scars, they've got success stories, they've got failure stories. They can genuinely help you out. I think people that are family and friends are going to have the protectionist thing. Like, realistically, they're fucking clueless about running businesses. That's why they're in the safe haven employee market and are buying houses and properties. You want somebody that has got lived experience, that you can go, hey, I just want to run something past you. And it's really surprising the amount of times when I got called out recently, and we said it, I think, to a business owner recently. It's somebody that they looked up to. Just talk to them, just get them to start talking about themselves. And as soon as people want to start talking about this, you just cannot shut them up.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Somebody kind of set me up a little bit earlier this week. We were talking, and it got me talking about myself. And then once I start, it's just the flow. And I was like, I had to pause. I was like, oh, hang on, I've been fucking teed up here. Just let's pump the brakes a little bit and fucking bring the conversation back in line. But it opens it up and breaks the barriers to then be able to go, let's ask more questions, to then get to a level of detail that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to get to if you just went in hot to begin with.
Yeah, I love that. It's the old be curious, right? And be curious about other people and what they're doing. And yeah, I spoke to a business owner recently, and they were looking at maybe doing some work with us. And I said, I don't know if you're ready yet. I don't know if you're committed to. Most people come to us and they're like, right, I want to magnify this and I want to understand it better. This person was a bit like, I don't really know if I even want to be doing this anymore. I'm like, I think you're at a crossroads, and I can help you, but it's probably not worth us putting a plan together of how to explode, or to grow these feelings of unsureness, because you're just going to scale things you don't want to do. But in the chat with them, I had some time, so I was trying to unpack, okay, what's going on? Why are you feeling like this? Well, what do you want to do? And okay, give me some of the numbers. And then I'm thinking, well, given what I can see of your world and this 20-minute convo, I'm like, are you trying this? What about this? And they're like, oh, no, I've never thought of that. And they ended up coming back a week later saying, shit, I got more out of that 30-minute call than some of the paid mentorship that I've done. I'm like, oh, damn it. Okay. And I actually gave it to our marketing team and said, should we use this as an ad, or is the risk that people then just go, oh, I'm going to book a free call with him and waste his time and get all of his, answers, and they're like, this is not a good idea, mate. I'm like, great. So then I get external validation of like, no, Luke, that's not smart to use that as,
Great validation for how good we are.
Yeah,
but not a lead magnet.
Yeah, not great to attract.
Book a call.
Yeah.
A free call, and we'll just give out advice. We don't do that.
Yeah. Those days are gone. That's why we do the podcast, so we can do it at scale. My other thing here is, there's all this chat at the moment about growth and what not, but reminder to business owners, like, you are the growth. All these people waiting for growth. I was talking to somebody yesterday and I was trying to get to the bottom of like, what are people angry about? And I think it's still cost of living. And someone said, nah, it's the lack of growth. And then I thought, well,
What is growth?
yeah,
Where does it come from?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait for a politician to tell you, oh, hey, GDP's up for that quarter. Oh, we better revise it in 3 months anyway. But you know what growth is individually, like we all do. So I thought, well, the answer is you are the growth. Like, yeah, it sucks that inflation's here and that's harder to control, but you can control your own growth. So you are the growth should be our theme. Like, that's what the politicians should be saying to people. You are the growth.
And I was just thinking just now, it's like, well, okay, think of yourself as a plant, and what conditions does a plant need to grow? And you're like, well, it's Winterfell, a plant can't grow in winter. Well, frickin' adapt the conditions of your environment to make yourself grow. Well, put your plant in a fucking in a treehouse with some hot lamps, or apparently up in the attic with hot lamps and some hydroponics, and shit will grow. I've heard.
What have you been watching? You've been to Northland.
Yeah, there's some shows on. I don't know what it was, but there's some red and blue flag. I don't know. Anyway, you know, add a little bit of fertilizer to it, and stuff just grows. And I think as a business owner, you've got to go, right, this is me. What are my missing components to be able to grow and supercharge this thing? And if you don't know, that's where you need to get that other trusted person that's got the lived experience that we've spoken about, that you can go, well, I've got some ideas I want to grow, but how can I execute? What do I need to do? What are the next steps? And I think it's probably maybe a little bit of fear or just lack of belief or maybe embarrassment. I don't know what it is. Just going, hey, look, I'm in a position. I want to get out of it. I need help.
You know, 8 years ago, we were putting together a business plan for ourselves, and we were thinking, okay, like an action plan, Facebook Lives will be a big part of that, you know, getting attention. We could understand that concept of attention. But, you know, like Luxon wasn't sitting there, or Bill English, you know, picking us up from the airport, wasn't sitting there going, oh, good on you, boys. Yeah, I'm anticipating GDP growth is going to be 0.6% through each of the next quarters of your journey. Oh, by the way, heads up, there's a big fuck-off pandemic coming in about 2020, so you want to make sure you get your balance sheet right, because everyone's going to blow their brains out in property in 2021. Be careful, boy. Like, no one told us. We were like, okay, how are we going to build this? And then, you know, look at us now. We're sitting in here in front of 50 grand worth of equipment, recording a podcast that people can listen to that helps them. And people wouldn't even spend $50,000 on marketing in their life in many businesses, especially accounting businesses, unless it's hosting at a corporate box or some charity lunch or something, which, you know,
It doesn't count.
Yeah, but they think is marketing. And we've had to go through our own journey and figure out, okay, well, if the politicians are telling us there's not going to be growth here, like the pandemic, we're like, oh, we don't really want to play like that. So what are we going to do to grow? And then we put our heads together. Let's try this. Oh, that's not really working. Should we try it this way? Yeah, okay. Oh, should we spend some money to try and magnify it? Oh, okay. Then we've got to take a step back to go 3 forward and just keep inching forward. And then people look to us and be like, oh, you guys are doing well. And we almost want to say, well, no shit. Like, you know.
It hasn't just happened out of thin air, folks.
And it's a bit like the business owner that we were talking about recently that's 20 years in. Like, most people quit before year 20. So they don't get to that. So they don't have the compounding.
And they did say that they
nearly did.
Nearly
halfway
did.
through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At about 10, like, is this it anymore?
Entertained some offers, and it was like, nah, and carried on. And I bet you, like, with the benefit of hindsight and looking at their numbers now, I think, thank God we didn't do that.
So my message would be growth is internal, both inside your business and inside yourself. Focus your growth there rather than waiting for this external shit. Because I think even if you think about it like that, it's almost like, oh yeah, how have I let the politicians, you know, dictate to me when I get to grow? You know, it's almost like we don't want them to have that much power over us that we go, oh, well, we only grow when the economy's growing. Well, okay, it should be sped up in that time, hopefully.
Yeah.
Anything else, mate?
Nah, I just stop waiting. Take action. Do something, please. And the waiting is because you don't have, in my opinion, the clarity or the confidence. And it's going to be about getting out of your comfort zone to make a decision. And in more cases than not, when you're faced with a decision like that where you feel like you're having to waiting because it's the nervousness piece that you were speaking of, go and talk to someone.
Yeah, for me to close out would be confidence and capability. We've talked about this a little bit with clients recently, where often the clients with high capability lack confidence. And we're like, you shouldn't be worried about capability. you've got like you need some confidence to carry on, and then some of them that are overconfident were like, hey, we need to put some capability in. You've almost got to identify in yourself, are you like which one is lacking or which one is slowing you down? And I think an external person can help you spot that because they've got a lens of different businesses and what they're doing as well.
Nice.